Hello again everybody and welcome to another Beyond All Reason video. Today we are on the map Prismatic Anomaly with Hexu and Lord Vedor. Will Hexu be able to pull off another win, or will Vedor be able to put a stop to it? As we zoom on down to Mr. Vedor here in red, playing Armada in the far corner of the map. This position is going to make it a bit more difficult for them to spread out, but at the same time should provide a bit more of a secure base location. Now, options for expansion, we have the other start positions that go along the bottom side of the map here. You see a triple metal point there, and then in the corner, just in the distance. Now, Vedor is going to be applying most of his pressure down this left-hand side lane, and if he can get past these two pyramids here, he might be in for a good running against pretty much taking out this corner. Now, Hexu, however, as you can see here, positioned in the center of the map on Cortex vehicles. This does give him plenty of options when it comes to expanding either left or right, and should be able to secure them within around the same time whilst focusing most of the pressure in the center. This center position is the more favorable of position when it comes to player choices, so see how that ties up. The only thing to go over lastly is, of course, as I've mentioned before with this channel, there are a lot of pyramids. These pyramids will block radar vision, so a lot of radars are going to be necessary here in order to spot any raids that are moving past. Also, as mentioned before, the craters also block movement, so you're going to have to fight around the craters as well. That's pretty much all when it comes to this map. Let's switch over to the normal camera and get looking at what's going on. So, straight off the bat, we see a scout here from Hexu attempt to get a constructor, but gets chased off pretty much straight away. I've accidentally put mute on for a second there. Both players choosing vehicles. This makes quite a lot of sense due to the fact that metal is, well, there's quite a lot of metal to be had. Now, Vedor will need to build defenses quite a lot here, and he's currently struggling with energy. As mentioned before on a previous videos, there is no energy to be had, no wind to be had on this map. So you're going to have to build a lot of solar. This does mean you're going to use a lot of metal building solar. So just something to keep in mind if you ever have to play this map yourself. As we look at Vedor's vision, he has decided to play very defensive right now. He hasn't actually sent out his scouts to be aggressive. His scouts are purely defensive scouts and are basically just providing support for the constructor as it walks up. He is building LLTs by every single metal extractor, and that's due again to the position he's chosen. I'm interested to see... Okay, so the constructor that Vedor had here has no longer pushed forward. He's actually used his commander instead and pushed both of these guys back. Interesting thing as well, we're seeing him choose not to continue to scale up energy production right now. That would kind of be a waste of metal in a degree when he needed energy. And right now he just needs unit. He's only got this one constructor expanding. That is not the best of radar placement. It's going to kind of be blocked like this. Realistically, having the radar maybe on the corner or like here would have provided better radar vision. But he does have a radar here. But still, this radar is... Oh, surprisingly can somehow see around the corner. Okay, I did not expect that to happen. Honestly, I expected it to get all of that block, but it seems somehow has managed to get round. It's really odd. But whatever I get. His opponent not really doing much right now. Hexu has very little when it comes to full aggressive units. Got 2 incisors. Vedor now pushing up with 5 blitzes to try and get some damage. If he does take them onto a single LLT. The 5 blitzes will be enough, but it depends how much he spreads out his forces. We can see though that right now Hexu has way more metal because he's been able to expand both the triple mechs we mentioned before, whereas Vedor is still expanding out slowly. And Vedor there unable to really gain any value, losing 3 blitzes and doesn't even take out the metal extractor, having to now retreat. But we can see, as we were mentioning here, look, he hasn't even taken this triple metal point here, let alone the other corner. And at the same time, Hexu has obviously got the middle one and both corners and is now making his way down. So expansion is going to be slow for Vedor. But the question is that going to help him or not? He's going to be in a better position to defend, but Hexu overwhelms him with more production because he has more metal. We'll see what happens. Vedor is building LLTs by every single metal extractor as well, which is also going to slow him down. LLTs are only going to provide so much value up to a certain point. They're not really going to do much. Even now, with this many incisors, they'll be able to take out an LLT and kill the metal extractor. So they'll stop like a couple of scouts or maybe a few incisors on their own. They will whittle down any force that does attack, but still. Vedor also surprisingly hasn't prioritized pushing this way on the far left, which is obviously closest to his base. He could have taken this guy here, built an LLT there, walled this off, and even walled that off, and then had a pretty strong flank. But instead, no, Vedor is, I would argue, maybe going for a more traditional 1v1 approach here, and that is walk your commander the shortest line to your opponent's base and just apply pressure in the shortest line to your opponent's base and not really care about the flank. That was pretty much the strategy when it came to playing Comet Catcher, which is kind of what this map is not based on, but has kind of taken the niche of. That's why you haven't seen many matches of Comet Catcher lately, because most players have chosen to go for Prismatic Anomaly instead of Comet Catcher these days. Now, there are a lot of exposed metal extractors by Hexu, and he's saved quite a bit of metal because of that. When we quickly add these LLTs up, so LLTs alone, he spent 680 metal so far, 5,400 energy, and I don't think Hexu even has that many LLTs combined. There's like none over there, like one there, one there. Yeah, so the whole territory that you see here, only now has just 2 more been built in the center. But because of that, you would expect Hexu to have more units, and yet right now he does not. He has scaled up a lot on his energy and is actually going into advanced solars, so that's probably where that metal that he's produced extra, and not only that, that he's been able to save on not building so many LLTs has gone. Incisors, though, proving to be a bit more superior than blitzes here by just being able to take so much damage on these blitzes and still staying alive, taking quite a few out before they even approach. Problem is as well is that Vedor is not really going in on these. He's just kind of skirted the edge. But this is most of Vedor's army here, and decides not to go in on this corner and instead pulls back. He's just losing blitzes one after another. You got a single metal extractor. And now pulls it back. So we got 2 metal extractors in essence for losing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 blitzes for 2 metal extractors. That was definitely not a trade that he wanted to do. Stouts out now, though. And this attack will get a lot more value. Hardly any LLTs on this far right side here. He's going to be able to mow down quite a lot if he macros them correctly. Actually kill this side here. Manages to get triple mechs in the corner. Same time, this might be something of worry. No. Not enough stouts here to really apply enough pressure to Hexu's comm. I mean, he could kind of skirt the edge, especially without the LLTs being built. No. I'd push in the center. You can just see that constructor, sorry, actually assisting here has helped, but still, you know, managed to get taken out. This will get cleared up pretty well. The attack into the base here. There are several twin guards which will shut down this raid pretty quickly. They don't actually manage to get any solars. They close a few up, but don't actually manage to kill any. And now with almost 6 advanced solars being built, meanwhile, as we look at the base here of Vedor, you can see he's built them in very weird lines. As we've mentioned before, what you used to see is people would build them in a defensive posture, because when solar panels close, they gain more of a armor value. I think it basically doubles their base health, in essence. So very, very valuable. One thing of note, though, both players' commanders currently have very little in the way of defense. The biggest one of worry currently right now is Vedor. Although this attack is happening here, Vedor is here on his own with a good group of tanks that plenty of vision. Hexu's comm, though, did try and build some walls here to delay, but Vedor could kill Hexu's comm here. I don't know if he knows the comm was there and instead pulls it back. That was a big danger there. Vedor's comm on this side, though, gets spotted. D-guns 2 tanks. And you can see these LLTs are really not going to provide any value anymore. They would just get completely destroyed. Vedor walking with his commander, still trying to get more of these. These could outrange him and kill him if he's not careful. Pretty ballsy move, but it does get the D-gun off, leaving 2 tanks left alive. The push in the center, though, trying to get to the base. Will it make it there? I'm sure as of yet. There are a lot of units coming out. The closer you get to your opponent's base, the harder it is to push in. At the same time, on the opposite side, same sort of thing happening, but both players are clearly not focused on that fight. They are focused on this fight right here. Skirting the edge of the LLTs, the incisors will provide flanking damage bonuses. Pounders here as well, providing impulse damage, slowing the stouts down. And I don't think these stouts are going to be able to get any more value, pushing towards the base here. Instead, going after the flank here, trying to get some of the metal extractors being built up. They can outpace these pounders, so that's not a problem. The incisors will get cleared up as well, and these guys will be able to clear up this corner here with a single LLT. Pounders are chasing, but meanwhile on the opposite side, whilst Vedor's attention was elsewhere, some brutes have managed to make it through the front line. Again, though, how much value they're going to be able to do, not too much. They will get mopped up pretty quickly. Leaving this single one, which there's only a single metal extractor there anyway. Losing the radar may be the bigger of the damage here. Because as we zoom out, we're going to quickly look at visibility, right? So, meanwhile, Hexu still has fairly decent radar coverage. His coverage in the middle is not great, but fairly decent. Now, when we look at Vedor, this entire area is open. But other than that, he's in a fairly decent situation. One interesting note here is we see aircraft coming out from Vedor, sorry. The air cons will help be able to cap up mexes very quickly, even if they are slow, but mostly the bomber play here. No AA whatsoever from Hexu, and the positioning of all of these solars and advanced solars and the build power that Vedor is aware of will be able to do some good work here. Hexu eating a lot of the metal here to try and get more tanks out. Neither player choosing to go Tech 2 yet. Now the biggest thing is here is when is this air going to get spotted? Because he's still churning out tanks, which Hexu can see. So Hexu may not realise there's a lot going on there, but Reclaim also a key point of interest here. Outside the base has been dealt with, but there's about 600 there, 500 in the middle, 600, 1,000 just outside of Vedor's base. And the constructors are making their way into the center now to patch up the hole that was left when these tanks just rolled straight through. And now is Vedor got proper vision? Yes. No vision here whatsoever now. I believe, and I'm not entirely sure here, but I believe there's like small little bits here where the pyramids aren't exactly equal, where you can fit a radar. I don't know which one it is. I think it's maybe on this one. There's a few little spots. Shurikens, though, now out from Hexu, as well as scouts. The scouts have obviously spotted the bombers as the bombers make their way in. Missile trucks will provide some AA, but fighters are being rushed out. Bombers dropping their load. Damage spread across a wide area. Gets a couple bits of build power, but no advanced solars just yet. Second bombing run coming in. Air factory gone down. That's leaving only 2 fighters to try and deal with this, as well as the missiles. What's he going for next? You would hope build power. No, going for the factory, which is a surprising choice. I thought he would go for all of this build power. There's going for the build power. 3-ish construction turrets going down. Oh, and this is one of the reasons why he was using the bombers to focus the factories. Using these gunships now to try and focus down build power to stop the AA getting built. But he's not able to stop it, and the fighter will deal enough damage. Fighters showing up for Vedor, but not in time. And that was some big damage, though. Lost the metal extractors there. All of his construction turrets. A wreck has actually blocked the factory. I believe this was intentional by Vedor here. Factories will not start building the next thing until the thing that's blocking the build area has left. So Vedor will, placing this unit here and then getting it killed, will block this factory. He needs to reclaim this wreck in order for the factory to continue building anything. And that is something that is really easy to miss when you're panicking about your base. And he might not have noticed. The construction turrets should kind of eat that up pretty soon. And see there, it's now managed to do it. But so there's a good period of time there where you can see it's overflowed 2,000 metal purely because that factory was not producing and lost all build power. There is a lot of advanced solars still up and running, so he's not energy stalled as much as Vedor would like. And at the same time, investing into all of that air has left him a bit behind when it comes to army. But still a tremendous bombing run by Vedor. Vedor's comm having to use the gun there. 64%. So many LLTs here now as well. It's like all the way down here with constructors just like building LLTs to just deny metal extract. And then at the same time, you've got the same thing up here. Vedor's just built like 2 metal extractors. Yeah, that'll do. Just hold that area. Just deny the opponent any of that. Seems that Hexu now... Oh, I was about to say doubling down on land, but no, actually deleting the second land factory and going into air, realizing he's going to have to go fighters in order to test this. Oh, interesting. Going for his own bombing run? I did not expect that. Surely you would think, oh, well, Vedor's clearly got air. But what he might be thinking now, and this often happens in a 1v1, is that you'll build a bombing run, right? And then you'll do the attack, and then you'll reclaim your air lab. Because your opponent is now going to build a bunch of fighters, and that is going to pretty much secure your opponent wasting so much energy and metal. But no, he's continued with the air factory. Mostly because of the fact that Vedor continued with it and has invested into a lot of gunships here just to try and whittle down some eco. But this fight over this side, I'm surprised how many pounders Hexu has invested in. Air fight about to take place just over here, but I'm going to keep an eye on the tank battle that's going on. Fighters get shot down very quickly, leaving plenty of, I'll say 3 gunships left. Twin Guard's doing fairly well at dealing with the stouts. So many Twin Guards. This is a ridiculous amount of Twin Guards. Doesn't take out the constructor either. Bombers do a bit of a drive-by on the way past. He's aware that the bombers are coming though. It should give him enough time to get the AA and Tech 2 also now out. Does not manage to stop its bombs. Vedor removing all of his air and is now into Tech 2 vehicles. You can see that the Tech 2 notification happened and Hexu has now had to rush Tech 2 himself. When you look at this economy stats, you should think that Hexu is in the lead here. Metal produced is almost 6k difference between the two players, but there is 4k metal right here and another 2k metal here. If Vedor can secure this area, he will have the same metal production as, or total metal produced as Hexu. Now that is the question. Will he be able to do it? Hexu already starting to eat some of the reclaim here. Vedor is moving his commander up there to attempt to get some of it as well. Hexu doing a good job though at he's made this hole in the center here where Vedor has like nothing, and Vedor is prioritizing this, which if we said at the beginning, I thought Vedor was going to push up to here, and now Hexu has held that position instead because it's quite a strong position to hold. And now Jags into static positions, not the best option. He probably needs to pull balls. This is post Jaguar nerf as well. These would be perfect for running around here to just do some damage. They've got AA, so they'll be able to stop the shurikens, but really Vedor needs balls and doesn't really have the metal production to do that. He is going Tech 2 economy slowly but surely. See how quickly those Jaguars blow up under that sustained fire of the brutes. Console here, trying to grab some of that reclaim, but he's going to lose it. Bit too late to notice. Manages to save the console. Lord Vedor's commander now here behind, trying to keep these Jaguars alive, but they don't really have the amount of health to really trade in this fight. Tigers now making their way to the front line at the same time the bulls do. Got 2 bulls to 2 tigers. 3 tigers now. But he's getting a lot of this reclaim though. The Jaguars make short work of the shurikens. You can see, actually, kind of trying to prioritize taking out the Jags, but he can use more shurikens. I am seeing Banishers, though, on their way down. Vedor needs to desperately eat up this Reclaim as quick as he can. As soon as these Banishers come out, it's going to prove to be a lot more difficult to try and hold this position. Still could be anyone's game. I find it interesting that we've got a single constructor slowly just creeping this corner and killing stuff with the LLT. So you can see it build Mex, LLT, steal that, you can build that. And he's just going to slowly push this one, build an LLT. I find that really funny. Hexu has not really been bothered to go deal with that. And there we go, Banishers start to arrive. Plenty of metal still around, about 1,000 combined. I am surprised we don't see Vedor going resbots here. He probably has the income where he could just build a bot lab. Oh, he's building the tech ones from the console. Interesting. Oh, there we go. Well, there's your bot lab. Bot lab for resbots. Maybe even tick spam. Probably the tick spam, to be honest with you. But is Vedor's army now out of position? Not only that, but his commander may be about to get nuked by the Banishers. And Vedor's army has to get turned around. Getting a bit of build power, but it's spread out so much that he's actually in a good spot here. This bull army, though, gets absolutely devastated by those Banishers. They're just slowly picking off stuff. The tick spam is going to start making its way to the front line, but already losing one bull. About to be a second bull. Yep, there we go. Losing bit by bit, bull by bull. A couple of bulls have managed to get round a flank, but against that many Tigers and an LLT, they're going to die pretty quickly here. Needs to pull them back. At least the tick spam will keep the Banishers at bay. Bombers now also starting to make their appearance from Hexu in the base here, so we just quickly have a look. Bunch of Tech 1 bombers are making their way out. There are plenty of blue fighters this time as well, whereas Vedor has no fighters remaining whatsoever. And this could be a very big turning point. There are plenty of Jags still. Using some of the tick spam here actually to try and pick up some loose metal extractors. There are plenty of metal extractors just left open here. Building a wall of radars that was clearly supposed to be a wall of LLTs. Tick spam is definitely needed on his front. Not much in the way of reclaim left. Those two tanks are a decent amount of reclaim. You can see how many Banisher missiles there went for that one tick. How many Banishers are we up to? 4 Banishers currently. 4 Tigers on their way in. Bombers about to approach as well. We've got 11 bombers on their way to the Tech 2 factory. No AA. Vedor now rushing out fighters. Will the Jags manage to take out all the fighters? It does look like they might manage it. And it looks like bombing run aborted. Hexu realizing he needs more to get in there. Wait, he may be going to try and bomb the tick, but that'd be a bit of a waste. These ticks, though, are getting decent value here. Oh, I was about to say he's about to run into this corner, but no. These are all just going to die now. They could have got some good value back there, but no. Good push by Vedor. Combined with tick spam, manages to take out every single banisher that was there. Flanking damage also helping dealing with the tigers. And that is a lot of metal to leave on Vedor's doorstep. Almost 8k, 7.5. Bombing run is taking place elsewhere, getting some expansion. Not really anything to write home about. But this does mean that the Jags are out of position here. And there's not enough tanks to keep going. This is mostly Tech 2 metal extractors over here that are getting bombed. But he's focusing on the LLTs, if anything. Not the metal extractors. And then all of those bombers are now going to get killed. Meanwhile, at the top here, Vedor managing to pick up a Tech 2 constructor with some ticks. Moving these ticks further across, pick up even more metal extractors. Oh, actually not finishing that metal extractor off. And that was some good value gained from those ticks. Getting a Tech 2 guy is pretty valuable. These two tigers have cleared out the corner of Hexu, but you know, Vedor's had this corner for God knows how long now. Metal a second is still advantage Hexu, bear in mind. Well, it was until Reclaim started being gathered by Vedor. Vedor needs to scale his economy up more. A Juno, double Juno coming out from Vedor, as well as grunt spam to deal with the tick spam. A single fusion, no E-scaling just yet. Whereas we can see that a second fusion already planned by Vedor here and started at that. Vedor doing pretty good on his usage here, not using too much. Ticks have managed to deal with the tigers as well. Building some Tech 2 defenses also to help secure that position, but army value is looking pretty good. Metal produced so far is getting pretty close as well between the two players. There's only about 5k left in it now. Bear in mind it was like 7 earlier on. When you think about it, 2k excess as well from Hexu. But Vedor has been on the heavy defensive pretty much for most of the game now. And it's a really weird layout because this entire side over here has been pretty much ignored. Finally, Hexu sends just a couple of tigers over here to just clear up some of this side. The fact that Vedor has had this for such a long time is ridiculous, really. When it's so close to the base, you would think that, that's fine, we'll just go deal with that. But no. Tick spam was enough to also deal with this. He does manage to get a bunch of the ticks with the death of the metal extractor, and this metal extractor won't die either. Resbot's finally on their way out, but neither player wanting to make a full commitment here. Pawn spam already been switched over from the tick tip as soon as the Juno landed, but you can just see how close we are to the front, and yet these metal extractors are still not tapped. No defenses are built there, and there's like so much metal that could be had that still doesn't have. And when we look at Vedor's vision as well, look how bad Vedor's vision is right now. No vision at all, no radars anywhere. And that is proving difficult for him to know where to go. He's not seeing these pawn attacks on their way in. But good full push here. He's just killing the LLTs though. Like, it's good. He's finally clearing this out a bit, but he wants to hold that reclaim. There's going to be a lot of reclaim here. I need to get a combat unit, please. 6k reclaim. Again, a lot to be had if he can control it. These poor grunts, though, would have done well. Instead, moving into this kind of mess over here. Hexu finally cleaning up the corner up there. there's enough defenses here to stop this pretty effectively, yeah. Meanwhile, the Banishers... Oh, Hexu's calm, though in a potential trouble. Bulls just careering down on the commander. Com having a cloak walk. Plenty of Tech 2 constructors here as well. Great value if Vedor was paying attention. Did he know the commander's there? No. But that's a lot of constructors there. There was like 4 or 5 constructors. These bulls aren't really going to get any more. I would self-destruct these at this point, to be honest with you. Especially seeing that many Banisher rockets coming towards you. Just get out. Just get rid of them. Problem is, he's probably just selecting all bulls and then just lining them. Neither player really with a decisive answer to each other. Zars making an appearance on the front line to help deal with the grunts. Probably overbuilt Junos. And this is the thing, Vedor did damage, but the damage wasn't really to the right thing. He took out build power, he took out a factory, but he didn't take out any like energy production. And because of that, Hexu's been managed to scale back up pretty quickly. Banishers also providing enough impulse damage to keep the bulls at bay. No starlights coming out to counter them yet. And that's a lot of reclaim now. 4k reclaim there, 4k here. All of it actually being rezzed here by Vedor though. Sweeping past though across the front. Vedor should know that Azara is now on the field by hearing the shot of it. You can hear that thing from miles away. But the point in this force is to just try and do damage to like leftover economy. Now, he's still not recapped this Hexu, but just dealing a couple of metal extractors here and there. He really needs vision better. Doubles are. There were constructors actually going to do that, but they don't manage to stay alive long enough. I don't know, this is a really tough game. When you look at the map, pretty much the entire center of the map is now on no man's land. Both corners on this far right hand side have been no one's for a while. We can see there is a Tech 2 guy here slowly building up defenses to help secure that side, so we can go back and cap it. But neither player really with a significant army advantage. But also no one really scaling up their economy. Everyone's putting everything into units and holding on. Vedor is now building his 3rd fusion, but he hasn't built any energy converters there at all. Managing to get 3 construction bots there. But Vedor just doesn't really have an answer for Banishers. His answer was grunts, but with the consistent Juno now causing him problems, he hasn't really done anything. He also is forgetting to recap mexes. There's this one here that's been empty for a while that he could quite easily block off with walls here, and that would give him a very strong defensive position. He can build Tech 2 walls, and then that's not really going to be pushed through by anything. And this map is so wide, the problem here is that it doesn't really know what's a good place to push through. We're just seeing, you know, a few Tigers here and there making their way through, and, you know, Vedor's just trying to find the same thing here, just to couple of holes wherever he can. There's just enough to get through and cause some damage. Same time, a lot of res bots lost there by Vedor. Metal produced now, though, is neck and neck. Hexu's early lead starting to fall apart. Now, these bulls do have an opportunity here to inflict some damage. Tech 2 gunships will take a while to kill them. How much damage will they be able to inflict? Nothing coming out of the Tech 2 factory right now. Vedor is keeping his attention over there whilst he makes this push. 3 bulls dead as they approach the base. Focusing on the twin guard. And no damage actually dealt. More bulls there as well, but not really going to do anything. And that was an opportunity, but there's a lot of Tech 2 gunships there now. And Tech 2 fighters. Vedor on Tech 1 air still as well. I think this may be Hexu's game here. Hexu's quantity of gunships. He's got 9 at the moment. Now make that 10. 10 gunship. He's got Tech 2 fighters. And not only that, but there's no air defense around here at all. He's going to try and use the fighters now to stop these gunships. Which then Vedor will lose the air war because these Tech 2, okay, it's all down to reaction speed. How quickly is Tech 2 going to react to the fighters coming in? There is a Tsar though right behind, and that will make short work of these pit bulls anyway. Here come the Tech 2 fighters. And Vedor does not have enough AA to deal with these gunships. Is that it? These gunships can in theory just keep going. Now he could just build a couple of flaks here and that might suffice, but at the same time there is a decent sized force here. But I honestly think Hexu should have enough to stop this. Not moved quick enough in order to bypass the army. And now the fact that it's all sat stationary as well. Flaks have arrived at the front line, but they're not where they're needed. They're needed over here as he's losing lots and lots, and he's sending bulls and pawns. They ain't gonna do anything. And that is an entire army wipe in the center for Vedor. Resbots are already there for Hexu. And realistically, I'm probably seeing a need to transition to Tech 3, maybe, from Vedor here. No.
Commander has
Vedor pulls the GG. Not being able to deal with these gunships and the overwhelming army advantage that Hexu had in the end. Vedor just couldn't deal with it. Well, Hexu wins again versus another top player. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hype the video. So many things that they want you to do these days. And I'll see you all next time.